Hey, what's up everyone and welcome in this new tutorial where I'm gonna show you why your drums are not hitting right. So in this tutorial we're gonna mainly discuss phase issues, how to spot them and how to fix phase issues in your drums in order to make them sound as powerful and as tight as possible. So first of all we're gonna start with an introduction to phase and phase issues. To do that we're gonna use this sine wave. So as you can see, it's a very short sine sweep, and the important thing to notice is that we have these two horizontal lines, one for the left channel and the other for the right channel. So what happens when we duplicate this track and we add a utility and we flip the phase of the left and right channel is that when you see this part that goes below the horizontal line, it will be above, and it's gonna be the opposite for the rest of the sine wave. Now, when these two sine waves are combined, so the first one is the original and the second one is flipped, we will have no sound at all. As you can see, no sound. In order to demonstrate this better, we can do freeze and flatten. And as you can see, when the sine wave is going down, here is going up and vice versa. And this is called phase cancellation. So if we mute the second one, we will have the sub. If we solo the second one, we will have the sub. But if we play them together, we have no output. Now, you will most likely never have this kind of issue in an electronic or tech house track because it's going to be really difficult to have up to a sample like this in your track. But what you can have are some phase issues which happens when the samples are slightly delayed. So I'm gonna do a couple of examples here with the kick, for example if you're layering a kick drum, and with the drums, so if you're layering some top drums. So we're gonna start with this first kick drum. And let's say we want to add a top kick to add some punch. In this case, I have reproduced this same kick drum, but this can happen if you have two similar samples, so samples with a similar waveform. However, they are a bit delayed, so let's see what happens when we play these two kicks together. As you can hear, there is quite a big difference and you can hear some phasing. So you can hear something is not right. This is because the two kicks are slightly offset one from the other. To play them together, you can hear they are just a duplicate of the first one. With the slide shift, we're losing a lot of power and a lot of punchiness as well. So the first thing that I would recommend you is to simply manually adjust the sample so that they fit with the samples they are layered with. So you can do that manually if you have the audio files. Alternatively, in Ableton, you can enable this window here by going into View. And then if you go into the arrangement track controls, you can turn on track options. And this will give us a millisecond value that you can change to shift the track. You can shift it some milliseconds later or some milliseconds before. Let's do later. As you can hear, we have much more phase issues. And same if we do it before. So you can use that to fix it manually, or you can change the position of the elements in your track. I'm gonna show you the similar example on the top loop. This might be a bit more common. So if you have some loops stuck together, you might gonna have some adds or claps that are gonna have some similar waveforms, and if they're not exactly aligned, you will have some problems. So this hat is one example, which as you can see has been slightly shifted. If we put it precisely with the other hat, they sound great. I'm gonna do this example with the milliseconds info here. So this is what you will hear when you are phasing, so this kind of flanger chorus effect, while when they are perfectly on time, you will hear nothing. So this is one way to approach the issue. So what we can do is also use some plugins. So as you can see, I'm gonna postpone this second atom, and we're gonna use the Neutron 5 phase plugin. This is one I use quite a lot, and it's very easy, very helpful. So you just select the input. So we're gonna select our top loop as the input, and we're gonna loop this section, and we're just gonna click on learn. And as you can see the plugin, we will do some rotation and delay in order to align our hat with the loop. So this is very helpful if you have like a lot of drum loops in your drum section and you want to make sure that everything is aligned and it's in phase. The last problem that I want to show you has to do once again with the kick drum. So this problem happens when we do a low cut on the kick drum. So let's say that you want to cut I'm gonna duplicate it, I'm gonna remove this one. Let's say that you want to cut everything below 30 Hz, for example. You don't want the very low to be in your kick drum for any reason. So you do a small low cut. Now, this might seem as something that is not that harmful, but it actually does a lot of damage because it changes the phase of the kick drum. So if we freeze and flatten the track, we will see that the phase has changed as well. So not only we have the Q, but as you can see, peaks are shifting. So as you can see here, when we have this peak, here the peak is already descending. So this is a very common issue if you are doing low cuts on, for example, a low tom or low percussion as well. The best way to avoid this is to use an EQ with some phase options. So you can do a linear phase, and this will make sure that your phase will remain intact even when you do a low cut. So you can do that on the Pro Q4, but obviously there are a lot of EQ that do linear phase, and this is very helpful if you want to do some adjustments on kick drums and low frequency elements. So yeah, that's all for this tutorial on how to make your drums hit right. Let us know in the comments what tutorial would you like to see next, and I'll see you soon. Bye.